Hey, hey, do you hear what they're talking about over there? What? Huh? What? What are you talking about? I don't know. It sounds kind of weird. Make me a little curious, though. We should go over there. You want to go over there? Yeah, come on, let's go over there. All right, okay, let's go over there.
Hello. Welcome to Whispering at the Party, another week and another rendition. Thank you for joining us. Today I have with me our resident, which you're all familiar with by now, Carol, our resident tarot reader.
Hello.
We have a great selection ahead of us today. I'm sure some beauties are going to pop out to support this. And over on the top left, we have Alicia Maximo, co-founder and CEO of Venora. Thanks for joining us, ladies. We have a really nice subject at hand today to share with the collective. Mm-hmm. This subject is very deep to a lot, especially the singles at the moment. With so much love in the air and a wave of emotion coming forward on the 14th of February, I think it's a good time to unpack some of this self-care, self-love regime that we've all come to know and learn, and see what that looks like to us individually. So I've prepared some questions for both of you ladies today that I look forward to diving into. Mm-hmm. Before I do get started, I'd just love to kick it off with a picture because I'm such a visual person and so many of our supportive guests are. So Carol, could I possibly ask you, is there a deck that you've got on hand at the moment that you may want to read from?
I do. I actually have two today. I took my soulmate card deck out today, which gives a little bit of more clarity, and then of course tarot of the heart. So I will start with tarot of the heart just to see what we have going on in the present moment for love, or as you put it, love is in the air.
It is. It's the month of love. February, here we come.
Right. And I've also got some spirits here because I keep messing with the light right now. I'm like, okay, guys.
We see it. Yeah.
So that's really nice of them to support the process.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we do have the devil card. If you can see this. I know everybody's like, oh my gosh, which part is that? When we're talking about
that. Before everyone gets scared.
Yeah.
Right. Don't worry, it's not that scary, guys.
It's funny, I did a podcast earlier today, and that was the first card I pulled out as well. And so I think, yeah, very interesting. So I think with the devil represented with us today, it's just feeling that people may be in situations that do not cater to their true love potentials. People may be lost in these relationships. They may stay a little bit too long, but it's time to heal and grow from this type of relationship. People feel trapped. They feel bonded to a situation that they can't seem to get themselves out of. So with that being said, the devil just is holding you down from your highest unconscious potential to truly find that soulmate or that twin flame or that life partner that you've been searching for.
Very interesting. Anything you'd like to add to that, Alicia? That's a really interesting card.
Yeah, I would say like when you get a card like that, it's definitely an open opportunity to rediscover like that blockage or the idea of what exactly does that mean? How does it relate to the person as an individual? So I look at that as an opportunity to keep the mindset open as far as looking at the relationships, looking at the relationships that you have either with your partner or your friends to reevaluate the relationship as far as the give and take from it, but also the genuine aspect of, okay, this person is in my journey or part of my journey right now that doesn't necessarily, I need to cling on to them and to attach to them. So I feel like it opens up a whole nother opportunity to be like, okay, yes, the card is the devil per se, but I like to look at it as an opportunity for sure.
Well said. Great summary too. I must say, I want to just comment towards that. Yeah, we
Mhm.
We have that greater awareness of what's going on around us, but sometimes we just seem to get our complacency and our comfort zone tucked in a little bit nice and neat for what we need. So
Mhm.
you could say that card is a really good reminder, like you just
Mhm.
said, of bringing us to that greater awareness to have a look and unpack what's going on around us and see if it's really serving us.
Right.
Sometimes we outgrow those times and those situations, and we are in the year of 9, universal year, which was spoken multiple times in the last few weeks. So this is a great time for cycles to end and lessons to be gained and learned, and new levels of consciousness to be risen into.
Mhm.
5D frequency. Well done, Carol.
I do want to add though, because of the relationship, it could be turmoil, the one that you're currently in, or
Mhm.
you're just struggling with it at the moment. Doesn't sometimes mean that it's, oh my God, the ending and I've got to get away from this. It can mean that because you might be struggling with it. Now, if you are single, the devil may come out saying that you're maybe having some inner struggles with self-love, like you're not giving your enough healing or finding ways.
Creating enough space. Yeah,
Yeah, and so the devil might come in and say you're the one holding you back from finding that true essence of love.
that's
Mm.
very, very valid points. We often forget this entire experience is spiritual to a degree of its own
Right.
accord. So having a hobby, an interest, a liking, or something that you're passionate towards that you can assert your energy and attention to, that old testament of the saying that floats around, where attention go, energy flows. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
having these little outlets are great supports for that, of what you've just
Mhm.
mentioned there. And probably a good time for us all to do a little bit of a calibration on that at this time of
Right.
year, so we can take on some new exciting things moving forward.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I do have a question to start us off to just keep on going because that's some big energy that we just opened up there. So
Mhm.
much like our friend the hermit, Carol, it's a great
Mhm.
time to keep pushing on forward and keeping our
Mhm.
light lit. So with that, I had this question that I prepared for you now is for Carol directly, and Alicia, please feel free to piggyback onto the end of it.
Of course, yeah.
As a wisdom keeper and a spiritual practitioner, what have you observed through your relationship between surrendering and self-love?
I personally would say that surrendering is very difficult for a lot of us, especially if you're in a relationship that is toxic to you. You know, you might not see it, others might see it, and so with that being said, um, and with the devil card as well coming out, sometimes you have to release things that don't serve our highest good. And so finding self-love is a lot. It's a process for a lot of us. I know I personally, for me, I'm in the practice of self-love. I've been through some harmonious relationships which I've learned and grown and evolved from them, and I've been in some horrible relationships that I felt like the devil card consistently coming out, the betrayal and the backstabbing. But as a person coming in, I've learned from both the good and the bad. You know, that's your yin and yang. And finding self love for me right now has helped me heal from these past wounds and these traumas. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's time for you to get in a relationship. Or, yeah, when you are ready and the time is ready for you to find that true essence of love once again, then it will come. But you know in your heart when you are ready and prepared for that.
And so does divine timing. Well said.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes, that was great wisdom, Carol. I love when you drop wisdom bombs like that. I love that.
Thank you.
Yes. But well, as far as like from my experience in relationships and self-love, you definitely hit a tone there where as really big-hearted people, and we love really heavily, especially as women, we're very caring, very nurturing, just naturally and following our intuition. We have to remember that the self-love, loving ourselves, it works more efficiently when we create that relationship with ourselves, and then we can share some of that with a partner in a relationship. And sometimes, in my personal experience when I was younger, I found myself losing myself in the actual partner where I was serving and being more being more submissive in a relationship
Mhm.
instead of focusing on what makes me happy and my self-love. So the transition from going from there, as far as opening my heart to a partner that may or may not be right for me, I was like, okay, let me take a step back and focus on what makes me happy and my self-love, and what can I do to surrender and to practice that. So the next relationship I decide to be in, or whatever journey that the universe has me to be on in a relationship, it'll be me coming into that with that self-love and setting those types of boundaries with self, but with another partner as well. So as far as the self-love aspect, there's practices that like you can do internally, but like externally, as women, we love our facials, we love going to the spa. So I feel like those goes hand in hand with self-love as well. But taking care of yourself is the best way to show up in any relationship. And I feel like we have to consistently practice that and remind ourselves of that. That's the most important thing heading towards any type of relationship. But I'm all here for self-love. Men, women, everyone, as long as you love yourself generally inside and out, all your flaws and all your mistakes that you made in your past, the only path is forward. And once you create that opportunity, you'll find people that love you the way that you are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's very beautifully shared. Thank you for that
Mhm.
wisdom that channeled through you just there in those final few moments.
Thank you.
Very beautiful. The Venora effect. Well done.
Yes.
I would like to extend on this because they're both beautiful answers and they're really insightful and deep. You know, Carol,
Mhm.
you have got that greater life experience and you have had a multitude of different occurrences that you would call experiences, which we know as relationships. And I thank you for opening that. You know, that's not always easy. And I appreciate you sharing on top of that, that what was once considered dark is transmutatable and has been transmuted through that self-love passage and the art of surrender. So with saying that, self-love, which we've identified, and there's a variation of practices that could be entailed for that. And surrender, well, that's a bit of a double edge because that could be surrendering to your victimness or that could be surrendering to source. So my question to you both is, how has self-love and identifying that surrender, how has that deepened your relationships individually with source, with our creator?
Hmm.
Personally, for me, I would say that once you release and let everything just be, honestly, a whole different form of love forms within you. Like you will start glowing. You will have you'll find some you'll radiate or beam even with light, because you've given yourself up to source. It's source knows what's best for all of us in the long run. I know it's kind of hard to people that are like, no, I know what's best for you. Yes, you do, but there's also a higher source that is knowing a lot better than
It's a
all
big
of us.
surrender you're talking about there. That is a very big surrender.
Yeah. So, um, compassion, empathy. I mean, it all correlates to source.
Yeah. Huh. Good
Beautiful.
point, Carol. Good point. For me, and as far as myself and the experience that I've gained with the with the connection to God or to the source, I find once I developed a relationship with the source and allow the love to be accepted to come to me and the abundance of that, that's when I was able to let go of either finding a soulmate or a twin flame or whatever terms that you put it in a relationship. I was able to have a closer relationship with God, and he was willing to give me the opportunity to have that relationship with him and be open. It's growing stronger now as I'm aging and having more experience with people and other connections. But the awareness of how I was in my past into now has grown significantly, like huge. And I can feel the universe and the God when I'm asking for gifts or when I'm manifesting, where the connection is going stronger. And the self-love and the self-awareness of that has made me grow as a person, even accept and love myself even more. So I feel like the understanding and the deeper connection to the source has just opened up my mind span of like, as long as you have the love relationship with God, the universe, or whoever, the more easier it'll be to move forward into that source and into being okay with being alone with self and not necessarily having to depend on or to codepend on someone.
That was a nice point that you landed on just there at the end.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well,
It's
some more
about being
wisdom.
selflessness and love.
Selfless.
Yeah.
Yes. Mhm. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's the whole point of like, the Bible, God, the love and the source is that once you're selfless and you open up your heart and open up your chakras to that experience, the more of that you're going to receive and attract from others that are looking for that connection, that love as well, to be self-accepted from others, but self-accepted of yourself.
Beautifully said. Like
Yeah.
attracts like.
Yes,
Just like light
exactly.
is drawn to the darkness to illuminate.
Mhm. Mhm.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Back to
and
that
that's how
big,
that's
back to that
that's how
awareness.
I feel like that's how we all self are connected as well, as far as how we relate to each other, Marie, Carol, and the rest of the Nuvias team.
I agree very
Mhm.
much.
Yeah.
Very, very well illustrated and well presented, ladies, on how surrendering is probably one of the best things we could all do from
Mhm.
time to time. Probably should focus on practicing it a bit more and preaching that. And that's fair, given that
Mhm.
we're in this big year. So, taking away from that, selfishness, self love is also a massive one for us and needs to increase. We're not talking about we're not talking about introducing the I spectrum, the I state of being again, and
Mhm.
singulating yourself and pretending that you're the only one in this world that could be imagining, experiencing, or feeling anything that hasn't been felt, perceived, or experienced before. We are moving into a more of a unified we structure and that unity, not so much of a unity consciousness. So allowance for surrender and seeing that other people are also working their way through those cycles and endings is probably the other side of being selfish and what I'm trying to focus on here to make a point. If you're seeing somebody out there who is harboring a lot of energy, we can see energy. We all can have that ability to look and see within someone that they're not doing so well in the moment. Take a moment, send some energy their way, set an intention for a prayer. You will never understand the depths and the weight of sound that your words carry until you practice them. We practice them for ourselves, but as we move into this collective we structure, we must practice them for each other so we can harmonize this collective energy quicker and greater. Thank you for that, and thank you for your wisdom. My second question is very, very short and sweet and really fun.
Mm.
If you could write a letter to your inner child, that little version of you, about love and acceptance, what would be most important? What would be the truth that you would want that little version of you to know now in these moments?
For me, I would tell my inner child, like, is to, you don't have to get everybody's validation.
Approval.
Mhm.
Absolutely, because we always grow up with, or as me growing up in a small country, little town country, it's you feel like you had to be validated to be somebody, and that is so not the case at all. Validate yourself. That's all you need to do.
Mhm.
Mm,
Yes. On point, Carol.
I think that one hit home, Carol, on point.
Yes, yes. It's
Beautifully
very
said.
relatable.
Yeah.
Very,
Mhm.
very resonant. And how about you,
Mhm.
Alicia?
I would say same as far as, accepting self, but also not seeking your parents' approval or their validations or your peers. And also, I would just write to her, just do it. Like Nike, just do it. If you want to do anything you
Just
want to do
do
with
the
your
damn
life,
thing, hey? Just
just
do
do
the
it.
damn
Action, action, plan, action, execute, right? But growing up, we didn't, I was unaware of the just do it motto, of course. But
of course.
I would just tell her, it's okay to be different. It's okay to think outside the box. It's okay to look at someone's lifestyle and say, "Oh, I want to live that lifestyle. How do I make myself attract to that lifestyle?" Right? So I would tell her, you can do anything you put your mind to. Don't follow society, don't follow the norms. There's people out there with a similar type of mindset, with a similar type of goals that you have, and just do it, you know? And I feel like ever since I adopted that type of mindset, I see it happening right in front of me. So
Beautiful. Reminded me of a
it
quote.
took yeah, it took like two decades, but hey, we're
Took
here.
two
Divine
decades.
timing. Yeah. Divine
No one's
timing,
counting
right?
or anything, obviously.
Yeah.
You reminded me of an anecdotal analogy that used to be passed around quite a lot, and
Hmm.
it's still relevant, but it doesn't get used quite as often now. The
Hmm.
world is your oyster,
Yes, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
and
Yes,
you are the
that's
master of your own destiny.
yeah. Hmm. We could add
Beautiful.
that to the note as well.
Beautiful.
Hmm.
Well, I really like that question, and I would also like to add to that question because there is a
Please,
little version of Murray as well that was
yes,
once there.
we would
We all
love to
have
hear
those
your
versions.
experience, Murray.
Very short and sweet. I would tell Murray one thing, encapsulated very quickly, and I would use this as a catalyst for more than just myself, but most men out there at current. As a masculine energy, the framework we were delivered upon and that have grown up within and represented served us, but only so far.
Mm,
So, what I would say to little Murray is let joy be whatever it is to you. Let joy define itself and then follow it with your heart. So,
mm,
I would support what you've both said here today. We do look for too much validation in our external environment. And specifically, it comes from the people who are closest to us, who are sometimes the most detrimental to us
mhm.
at the same time. But they
Right.
are also our greatest allies in this playground because they're our training educators. They're put there before us to give us the greatest mirrors to prepare us for the real world, as it's said. And I can speak from experience that all the things that I endured, embraced, experienced, and overcome
Mhm,
have now served me in a way that allowed me to sit here and take what I have and transmute that into what I call golden energy to give back. And I think that is the greater purpose of Neuvias as a whole. And the greater point standing here, it's the greater purpose of why we're here as humans. We're here for experience, for connection, and for love. And love, connection, and experience evolves everything. I've learned that in my very short time here in Neuvias. So
Yes.
if anyone can take any advice from today, from that specific question, it would be this: validate yourself.
that's right.
Yep.
Give yourself permission.
Mhm,
Find a way and go forward. Chase your highest passion and choose your highest joy, moment to moment. Redefine the odds. Fake it till you make it, and just see how much it changes for you.
Mhm.
mhm.
Find that sense of self fulfillment within you.
Right. That's right. Your higher self is waiting for you.
It's
Mhm.
just
They're
sitting right
they're
there.
waiting. It's just sitting right there for you to connect the dots and move on up.
So come play, definitely. And
Mhm.
come play with Nubius. We're fun and we have a lot to offer.
Yeah, come on down.
Come on
Everyone's
down.
welcome.
Carol, this would be a very awesome millisecond of a time in the timeline to pull another card.
Okay.
Let's let's take a left turn.
Yes.
All right. Let's beautifully well said. I love where we're going with this. Okay, one just totally flew out of here. Oh my
Ooh,
gosh,
Yeah.
lovers!
yay!
Woohoo.
Kick
So
off the vibe.
yeah, speaking of it, just like boom, here I am.
Really.
So because the lovers. So the lovers can mean two things, of course. Whether you're in a relationship, it's about a time to have that heart to heart talk. I know sometimes it's the hardest talk to ever have but maybe something is just not going the way the communication has kind of lost itself or fizzled out. So it's time to sit down while you're in the relationship to have that heart-to-heart conversation and just get on the same page. Now, if you are single, there might be a new connect. There probably is a new connection coming in. You're still kind of on the fence about it, but it's also telling you to take it a little slow. Don't move fast. Don't be like your second date said, "Oh, I'm already getting married." No, it doesn't work that fast. Like, just take it slow. Love is gonna come, but you've got to make sure that, as Alicia said, connect the dots to make sure this is somebody that you're gonna want to spend the rest of your life with. So,
Uh, that's a beautiful message.
yes. So that is what I've got for the lovers. But like I said, forms of communication. Communication is key. I cannot stress that enough, especially in relationships.
You're right, right. I feel like it's so important in this day and age with with your loved ones and your lovers' relationships. Um, and the genuine connection, there has to be a mutual intention coming into that relationship. So you're speaking about the first, like second date, third date. During those dates, that's when you build that intuition and um, build that connection there and see what the intention is from both partners heading into that relationship or discovering each other's selves in that relationship. Because dating is new when you're single, right? You're meeting people here and there, but while you're out, everyone just stay protected, but also have much awareness of who you are and who you want to attract into your life. And then, love is love. Love be merry. We all love love. So I say go for it.
Love
But be,
evolves. Love
yes,
evolves always.
exactly, right? But definitely be aware and have the intention behind that.
It's a powerful card. Thank you, Spirit, for dropping that in our lap. Not so much of a hard left turn after all, more of a soft left turn, I'd
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
Your thoughts, Marie?
I agree with both of you on that card quite clearly there. I don't really have too much more to add to that. I think it's self-explanatory, that card, and where we've accumulated the energy to today in this container. We are very intellectual beings and we're very intuitive. We're very driven by our sight and our sound, our ability to receive information. Key word there, information, meaning that data is entering in some sort of formation. What we do with that level of discernment, displacement, or integration becomes the very sound of what we feel and what we are. At that level, we are now taking on new beliefs, new structures, and new imprints that will serve us. So, as long as you're focusing on true self love, which we've spoken about here today, and you're balancing that with self nourishment, soul nourishment, your connection to the Creator, you are in your awareness and you are serving your consciousness and you're allowing your consciousness to be aware of your awareness. There is no greater harmony that exists here than this interconnected, woven, loving, present relationship that is always here serving us. So again, while we're out there looking for love or wondering when the next twin flame or soulmate's going to pop around the corner, how about look in the mirror?
Yeah.
How about stand there and look into those beautiful eyes and repeat to yourself 10 times, 5 times, 10 times. I love you. I thank you. And I'm grateful for you. Take that energy with you and see how that manifests into your already extensive and expansive experience of being. One more question to really close this in. It was a big question, but I feel like this is a very intuitive suggestion that I'm receiving here. So I'm going to roll with this. I've shortened the question down to just one beautiful sentence. What is true soul nourishment? If you can just give us 3 to 5 points on what that is for you both, I think we'll be ready to close out today in this beautiful container.
I would say true soul nourishment is soothing the soul, listening to that music higher frequencies, finding what works best for you within instead of getting everybody else's validation, should I say. I do want to add also before we do close out, I wanted to just grab a soulmate card, Murray, before we go on to the next, or if you want to go to Alicia, we could do that last.
Okay,
Let's
yeah,
save that. Yeah, let's save that card.
yeah, for sure. I'll make mine really short and sweet. So three things: food, definitely nourish the soul, right? Uh, love, like love and connection with your friends, with your soulmates, your twin flames, but people that are naturally connected to you. And then the third one, I would say time with your loved ones and time spending, we have free will, so time spending traveling, the time that you spend on a certain project or even time in self-care. Take the time to do what's feed your soul. If it's reading a book, going for a walk, listening to music frequency, take the time to do that. We're so used to rushing with time and like hustle and bustle. It's okay. Time, the clock is ticking, not realistically, but take the
For real.
time to nourish the soul with the food and the love and the music. And then the life will just be easy peasy. Yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
That's one of our. I just wanted to detour onto that and add in one of our comments that we've received today in our comment section from one of our guests watchers,
Mhm.
Mark R. Davies, was the Beatles. All you need is love.
Yes,
I think that really supports that. All you need
Mhm.
is love.
That's right.
Not. I will read a few more off as we move forward, but for the moment, I think we're okay to move into our next card pool before we close out with that question. Is that what you were going to do, Carol? Was pull a card from the?
Yes, I think
Great.
this little deck is kind of gives a little bit of clarity, and it has
What is
some.
this little deck? Do you
It
mind
is
just telling us quickly what this little deck
absolutely.
is and why it looks so unique?
It's called the Cellmate cards.
Ooh,
Yeah, and they're just to help inspire people through the days. You know, if you're not feeling in the loving moment when you get home because of all the stress at work, or you were just out for the day and just everything went disarray, pull a card out. It's called the Soulmate deck, Nurturing and Attaching Loving Relationships. So
We'll put that
yeah,
in the comments. Great, thank
yeah,
you.
absolutely. The 500 decks I have, that's just another one added to the list.
nice. And it's perfect for this occasion as well.
Absolutely. So let's see what Source has to say for us. Love is the expression of God, goddesses flowing through you. Love is a sacred union, a great creative power which, through the merging of two souls, become an exploration of the divine. And that, I don't know if y'all could see that, but that's what we got.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect
That
card
came
to
through
close
very
out.
timely. That came
Yes.
through very timely.
Yeah.
We do
I feel like
appreciate the sentience of our creator
right.
being present with us, in us,
Mhm.
reminding us of that reverberance. Please, Alicia, what were you going to say?
I was going to say exactly what you're saying is like we mentioned God and love earlier, and they're definitely listening. The angels are listening in and supporting us.
And cheering us on, and all of
Yes.
you. So
hmm
do remember that and do call upon that encouragement. You have
hmm
your own personal cheerleader squad, always, in every
Oh,
second.
Yes.
mhm.
Yes.
We did have another comment from Omni Collective Creativity, and he said, Shalanima, true soul nourishment is realizing you're complete and acting upon it, completely healed, completely loved, completely yourself in all moments, as every moment. And he also ended with saying food is for the body, just to separate.
Like that one.
Well, we have had some very great interactions throughout our time here today. And we do have that one single question outstanding at the end there. So I guess if we could just close that in, we now have assimilated what love is to our creator, what love is to ourselves, and what love looks like to others outside of ourselves. just to encompass our soul, the aspect of what and who we are and why we're here, how can we nourish this a little bit further? What is just one modality, one tip, or one interest, hobby, or experience that you can recommend that would enlighten somebody today or throughout the rest of their week to be more connected to their soul aspect? Carol.
I would say every morning when you get up, when you do look in that mirror, I just simply tell yourself, I love you. You are healthy, you're wise, you're knowledgeable, you've got this. Whatever expression that you need to tell yourself in that moment, that is definitely a good way to start the day.
Absolutely.
Yes. Love that.
Absolutely. Do that. I'll do that every day. Alicia,
Mhm.
anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, to bounce off what Carol was speaking about, every morning or sometime you have time to yourself, write in a journal or either type on your computer on the connecting with the universe, but also manifesting on what you want to see in your present moment. Either if it's anything you like, love, whatever subject that you're looking for answers or looking for more guidance to connect to your new soul and your new higher self. I would say definitely write in your journal, manifest at least 1 to 3 things, and see if you can make that connection between angel numbers or seeing those manifestations come up in little ways or little signs. We do have other conversations featuring those subjects as well through Nubius, but that's one advice to the collective. Writing it and speaking it are the two most powerful forms of connecting to the universe, but also connecting the universe into your soul and what you want to feed your soul next.
Absolutely beautiful, ladies. I love how they both answers encompass the light and sound aspect of what we are.
Mhm.
One can be expressed and felt, and the other can be communicated and heard. It's truly amazing. Just to add on to that and to close that in, while we are making these decisions in the present moment, the very intention and decisional act to just be present. So going back to when we first wake up, I'm a sucker for grabbing my phone and for
Mhm.
readying the day and wanting to go from 0 to 100 very quickly. But the very act of choosing to be present and not reach for the phone and not go to the mirror and not make that coffee is also a nourishing act. If you can find this immaculate place of presence, you may just be astounded at what you feel and how well the rest of the day unfolds for you. Sometimes I spend as little as 20 seconds in this space. But the fact that I knew that I created that choice from a state of awareness at the beginning of the day is such an empowering act. So that's what I would offer.
Sounds good.
Yeah, well said, Marie.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Ladies, Alicia, Carol, it's always an honor to be here with you both. We're having a lot of fun and we're only just getting started.
Yes, we
To
are.
our guest, thank you for joining us. Share us everywhere. And we'll see you next week with
Yes.
another energy update.
Mhm.
Until then, have a great weekend. Thank you for joining us and for all of your loving comments and interactiveness.
Mhm.
Till then, catch you later.
See ya.
Thank
Happy
you.
Love Month.